Laptops are on fire, carpets are sprouting grass, and a man is voluntarily a rug. Meanwhile, I did stand-up comedy in front of both my mom and my mother-in-law this weekend. Welcome to Nate Knows Nothing. Welcome to Nate Knows Nothing, the podcast that's like a motivational speaker if the speech ends with, "But what do I know?" This week, both my mom and my mother-in-law came to town for Mother's Day, so naturally we spent it the way all great families do, by watching me tell jokes in a dark room while silently praying nobody heckles me in front of them. From there, things get somehow weirder. We've got teenagers setting their laptops on fire for TikTok clout, a soccer player who thinks 100 versions of himself could beat up a gorilla, a man is growing grass from his carpet, a human rug named Kevin who wants you to walk all over him, and one extremely stylish herd of baby goats that saved a woman's bad day. Strap in. This week's episode is one part therapy, one part mulch, and all parts dumb in the best way. But before we get to all that, I got to tell you about my weekend. It was fun. I did that show at the Den Theater I've been hounding the internet about. I did everything. I posted on all the social media. I was annoying about it. I'm still at that point in my career where asking people to go to my shows it feels like a favor. You know, like telling people to come to my show. I'm like, hey, look, I don't mean to be an inconvenience, but I'm going to be doing the thing I do this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you were at your job and you said, hey, I'm going to go do my job today, but you had to tell everybody about it. That's what it feels like. But it was a success. I will take it. Not quite a sellout. However, this is the internet, so what do you know? It was completely sold out, standing room only, and we had a great time. All the comedians did great. The show was a success. Both of my mothers enjoyed themselves. It was a fun weekend. Hanging out with both your moms, first of all, the only time they've met was at my wedding, which was nice. But this was the first time they got to hang out post-wedding, right? So this is the second time in history that they've met in all, 10-ish years of my relationship. So it was cool. It was a lot of fun. They're both hanging out at our house. We're all hanging out, all just the four of us all weekend. And then at one point, I do the show. Other than that, we just hung out and did mom stuff. Planted some flowers, watched Family Feud. That's what you do when your parents are over. Like, what do you put on? Unless they're watching a show, you could be like, hey, you watching anything? And if they say no, you just put on the Game Show Network. That's a life hack that I suggest to anyone. If you're in a room with people who can't decide what to watch, or nobody wants to be honest about what they're watching right now, like, hey, I've been watching this show, can we put that on? If no one says that, just put on the game show. It's hard for people to be upset watching Family Feud. In fact, we had so much fun. Honestly, Family Feud, it's a solid show. Okay, it's the easiest game show to play or watch or whatever. It's not Jeopardy. Okay, Jeopardy, you got to know things. Family Feud, you just got to be not dumb. We were watching it last night, and the funniest thing happened. You know how the person on the end is like the spokesperson for the entire family? They always got to give the big group answer. They got to give, they start things off. The show's just starting, and Steve Harvey goes up to the guy, and the guy's like, hey, Steve. And they're really awkward. And the guy goes, hey, Steve, my girlfriend's a big fan. Can she come up here and meet you? And Steve's face is like, what? And I was like, what is this? And I was like, why would they leave this in the show, first of all? Because he's like, yeah, sure, she can come up here. Like, who invites an audience member on the stage in a game show like this? You can't just do that. And I'm such an idiot, I fell for it. I was like, holy crap, they're letting her come up and and it was so uncomfortable. This woman's like, hi. And she introduced herself, and they just talked for a second. And all of a sudden, the dude comes from around the desk or the platform they're standing at, and it turns out he ends up proposing, right? Proposes on Family Feud. And now, this is a risk, okay? They left it in, which tells me this is either going to go well or poorly. You know what I mean? It's either going to be like yes or no, and we just couldn't take it out. We just couldn't, because there's, to me, nothing funnier than a botched proposal in a public setting is even better. So this guy proposes, gets down on one knee. She says yes, and all I could think was like, wow, how romantic. This is the best day of her life or whatever. You're supposed to do it up, man. And don't get me wrong, this guy probably thought this was a brilliant idea. But first of all, you don't even know if she's a fan. Like, is she really that big of a fan of Steve Harvey? And then it's like, then what? You ruined her chance of meeting her favorite TV game show host with a proposal? And now this is going to be her memory. It's going to be on TV once every quarter in a rerun? How romantic, right? Because what this guy didn't consider is the fact that as soon as she says yes and goes back into the audience, in 2 seconds, he's got to go play the game. So she didn't get the opportunity to be like, oh, let's celebrate, let's go out. She's like, no, now I have to go sit in the audience and watch you play Family Feud with your family. What an awful, like, it's a good idea in theory. I could see why this guy thought this was a big grandiose like celebration, like, oh, she's gonna love this, she'll be so surprised, who's done this before? And instead she's got to watch him from the crowd yell out stupid answers, because this guy then went 0 for 5. I kid you not. The whole time I was like, we have to finish watching this episode. This guy, as soon as he proposes, within 30 seconds, he goes up there to start the game off, and he gets a big old X. His answer is not even on the board. How pathetic, okay? And then every round they went, the family lost, first of all, okay? And every round, his guess was an X, okay? This guy lost. He proposed to his girlfriend and then sucked at the easiest game show you could ever play, and it made my night. I'm not gonna lie, it was almost more fun than my show this weekend. I can't believe it. Like, I'm just trying to think. I was like, I asked my wife, I'm like, if I did that, like, that's worse than, like, you know, you hear people doing this on like Christmas Day or something, where it's about the family, it's about the holiday, and now we're all gonna have to sit here and watch you guys do the, it's just, I don't know, I find it kind of lame. And but great game show, TV game show entertainment, okay? So shout out to that guy for making my night. Anyway, now let's talk about kids these days, because apparently setting your Chromebook on fire is now a thing. I guess regular detention wasn't extreme enough. All these TikTok challenges seem to take over and ruin a kid's like high school career. Not that I'm not advocating one way or the other. We all did stupid stuff in high school, but this viral TikTok trend making the rounds, called the Chromebook Challenge, involves kids sticking metal objects like paper clips and push pins into the charging ports of their school-issued Chromebooks, and surprise, that makes them spark, short circuit, and in some cases catch fire. It started in Connecticut, but it's now happening in California, North Carolina, and New Jersey, basically wherever teens have access to bad ideas and the internet. Some schools have to evacuate. Some kids are getting suspended or even arrested, and I just want to know who looked at a Chromebook and thought, you know what, this needs fire. This is one of those like stupid things. Like, you know, we all did this stuff in high school. We all had stupid trends, you know, and I hate to be, because I'm not old, but I'm old enough to be like, remember back in our day, all we did was, you know, put a couple rubber bands in our fingers, and we used them as a slingshot. And, you know, we would shoot kids with these like paper bullets, and that was a big deal. That was like in school suspension stuff. That was high school debauchery. You know, that's what we did. And now kids are lighting stuff on fire. That's insane. Also, these Chromebooks, man, they're not cheap. You gotta replace them and stuff. Like, when I was a kid, we just downloaded LimeWire and crashed the school network, you know? These kids are like, no, let's really just burn it down. At least we did it from the inside. We downloaded illegal programs and ruined the software. No, these guys are actually lighting stuff on fire. This is when I start to feel like an old guy, because I'm like, these stupid kids, they don't even know how good they got it. They have Chromebooks in school. You know, I didn't have that. I didn't have AI. I didn't have ChatGPT helping me with my homework. You know, I had to cheat analog style. I had to look at someone else's paper. I had to ask them for the answers during homeroom. Like, right before class, I'm scribbling down answers. Maybe I'm just lucky, though. Maybe that's the one perk of being a terrified young kid. I was scared of everything. I was scared of getting in trouble, scared of getting hurt. This is when is this nature versus nurture talking? Is this what this is? When I'm like, no, I'm terrified of getting hurt. I don't like getting hurt. I'm not going to light this thing on fire right now, because then I have to get a new one. It was out of pure laziness that I was a good kid. All the kids that got in trouble when I was in school, I would be like, this seems like a lot of work. You got to lie to this adult? No way, man. I'd rather just not do it. Maybe it's just because of my age, but I hate TikTok. I have it, I use it, and I hate it. As soon as I open it, I use it to just post clips in my stand-up, but I can't look at it. When I open it up, my brain hurts, and that bums me out, because I know there's a lot of like fun stuff on there. It can be a great thing for like entertainment. You can learn new things on there. It's great short form, shareable stuff, but it becomes this like weird, trendy, like these trends happen in schools, and kids are doing stupid stuff like lighting their Chromebooks on fire with paper clips. I'd like to think that if I were in high school now with things like TikTok and these challenges, I'd like to think I wouldn't do it, but would I? I don't know. If I saw the trend online and saw that it was like ruining a laptop, I don't think I would do it. I'm going to take the high road here. I'm going to be like, nah, there's no way I would have done it. I was a good kid. All these negative trends, though, all these things that ruin a kid's high school career, they're always called a trend and like a challenge, like the Chromebook challenge. This isn't really a challenge. Where's the challenge at? You stick metal in an electrical port? What's next? We're going to start putting forks in the wall outlets now? What are we doing? In fact, I'm actually at the age now where I'm almost on the parent side with this kind of stuff. If my kid showed up with a Chromebook on fire because he was sticking paper clips in it, I'd be like, you got to hold on to this while it's burning. Learn your lesson. Maybe that's aggressive. But the footage of this stuff is crazy. If you go on TikTok, you can see, I'm sure you can find it elsewhere too if you don't have TikTok, but the footage is crazy. It's like it's literally smoking, and then they're inhaling the smoke, man. And they're not doing it, they're not snorting it like something crazy, but that's like fried Chromebook smoke. That's not good. This stuff, whenever this happens, it just seems like a sign of the end times, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like, okay, we're done. Our species is done, right? These kids are just shocking themselves and lighting their computers on fire for the fun of it in school, and we're done, right? This is the end of times. By the time I have a kid that's in high school, I hope all this is over with. God knows what the world will be like by then, but I really hope they're not lighting their computers on fire with paper clips and whatnot. All right, now on to our next story. We're diving into sports, science, and hypothetical death matches because British soccer star Cole Palmer thinks 100 versions of himself could beat a gorilla with strategy. If you don't know, he's a Chelsea footballer, right? Cole Palmer went viral this week for weighing in on one of the dumbest and most beloved internet debates. Could 100 humans beat a gorilla in a fight? And I don't know if you saw all of this discourse online, but it was a big thing. It took off, and it is one of the dumbest debates ever because it's all like, hey, could 100 humans beat a gorilla? And likely no. But Palmer thinks so because only if the first 20 to 30 of the humans sacrifice themselves to wear the gorilla down could they actually do it. And honestly, I think the man has a point. I think this is the strategy if it came down to it. If we were like gladiator style, like let's do this for entertainment. I'm kind of for it. This is the thing that makes me feel like, it feels insane. It's all hypothetical. It's not going to be a realistic thing. It doesn't seem humane. It doesn't seem right to do, but I kind of want to see it. Someone did an AI model of this, right? It was like an animation of 100 humans fighting a gorilla, and this gorilla went apeshit, for lack of a better term. Okay? I see why it's a fun debate for people because everybody has a take on it, but yeah, I think that's just what's going to happen is eventually the gorilla is going to get tired. I mean, 100 people, we didn't even have that at my show this weekend, but 100 people, I mean, if 20 to 30 of them just like, really went at it and we let them go first. I don't know how we determine who goes first, but I'm going to guess everyone who thinks that they could beat a gorilla. I think it's so dumb. Humans are so dumb. We've hit the top of the food chain. We have air conditioning. We have the internet. We have Netflix, and we're going back to this primal, like, yeah, I could beat a gorilla. Oh, I bet you think you could. Why don't you go show us? Honestly, if you even entertain the idea, go do it. Please, just do it. All right, we got enough people on Earth. If you think you can beat a gorilla, please go try it. I want to see what happens because I'm not doing it. I'm perfectly fine admitting that I can't do it. But this guy thinks this is the strategy. Cole Palmer, he says, yes, only if the first 20 to 30 of them sacrifice themselves to wear the gorilla down. Imagine being one of those 20 to 30, by the way. Imagine being such a dolt that you're like, hey, I'll take one for the team. Let me know if we win, but I'll be dead. It's a wild thing to say unless you're actively casting a medieval war film. He later clarified that he was joking. I love that we have to do that. Like, he has to clarify that he's kidding. Of course he's kidding. But honestly, the confidence it takes to say, I think we could take it, when the opponent is a literal silverback, that's the athlete brain. This is the most British war plan ever, by the way. Sacrifice 30 lads and hope for the best, you know? I want to see the team huddle before the match. Just a lot of nervous breathing. Like, okay, who's going to go first? This is the classic, hey, I don't have to outrun the bear. As long as I'm faster than the slowest guy, we'll be fine. I'll make it. And then that guy gets the credit. This is why I think it's dumb. It's like, okay, all right, we'll send these 30 morons into the fire, right? They lose against the gorilla, and then you're the last guy standing because you didn't do anything. That's honestly probably my move. Like, I'll be there, and then I show up late, but I still get in, and then everyone died except for me, and I won the whole thing because the gorilla just passed out from exhaustion. That's my only hope. And look, I know PETA isn't going to go for this, but I think we should try it. I think humanity has gone so insane in the last 5 to 10 years. We've all lost our minds. I say, well, let's just do it at this point. You know, let's just see what happens. Let's do it. We'll do it at the Super Bowl halftime. That'd be fun, right? Halftime show. Get 100 dudes out there that think they can fight a gorilla. I mean, honestly, let's just do it. Because the worst guy you know is the guy who is actually interested in this. The guy who's talking about this all day at work. And you got to entertain this conversation. Be like, no, man, I think you could do it. You could get really good, get a really solid right hook in there. I haven't been to a zoo in a while, but gorillas are huge, man. And they're so strong. No way. There's no way you're going to get me, first of all, off the couch. I'm not fighting for myself, number one. Okay? I'm done. Okay? I'm done evolving physically, right? I just did 10 sit-ups today, and I feel like I ran a marathon. I'm over. Okay, it's done for me. You guys go fight that gorilla. I'll be here talking about it on a podcast. I bet in another 10 to 20 years, we'll have enough people on board to actually get people to sign up, and we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm with Cole Palmer. Let's just do it. Give 20 to 30 guys a head start, and then the rest of us will take the credit for it. All right, on to the next stupid story we got this week. This time, we're talking home improvement or accidental landscaping. A guy found live grass growing out of his carpet, like inside. Indoors, under a heater. Welcome to apartment jungle. A TikToker named Luke posted a video of him rearranging his bedroom and finding something very unexpected, an actual patch of grass growing through his carpet. Disgusting. Could you imagine this? Turns out he'd kept hay in that corner for his pet bird, a budgie. That's a type of bird, I'm assuming. And the combo of seeds, humidity, and the warmth of the space heater created a tiny greenhouse situation, and now he has literal turf inside his apartment. It's gross, it's amazing, and it's probably the most effort a bird has ever put into interior decorating. Okay, look, I'm not a bird guy. I'm never going to have a pet bird. I can say that with certainty. Okay, I'm not the type to do that. But I am the type to clean up a mess. Disgusting. Like this guy, imagine finding this out, okay? Something you've been doing in your life had a gross result, and then you document it and post it on TikTok. Like, what's that going to do for you? What is that really? I mean, what is the point of it? Like, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd be ripping that carpet out like, God, I can't believe I let this happen. I'd have some self-respect. No one would know. Or I'd at least blame the last tenant. He's got better luck growing grass in his apartment than I've ever had growing it at my house. You know what I mean? You ever try to grow something and you just can't do it? Like, I don't even know how you fix that. You got to rip up the carpet, right? Or you got to, like, trim it up, maybe bring the mower inside, keep it clean, throw an edger around, maybe a weed whacker. This bird didn't just build the nest, okay? It started his own lawn care business. The bird probably liked it, to be honest with you. He's got a lease and a lawn at the same time. Some people install turf. This guy just grew it naturally inside of his own apartment, and I respect that. I'm sure his landlord is not going to be thrilled about it, right? Imagine owning property, renting it to God knows who. First of all, a bird owner, and you got to, in Chicago, so many apartments have restrictions on dogs, types of breeds, and this guy gets to have a bird, and you're like, what? How gross can my place get with a bird? Well, turns out you got to mow the inside now. That's the world we live in, though. Something gross happens, you make a TikTok out of it, and then hopefully you make enough money from the TikTok to just pay for new carpeting. Speaking of carpet, now from interior growth to public weirdness, let's check in with New York City's favorite sidewalk statement, Kevin Carpet. He's a man, he's a rug, he's been stepped on since the 80s. Performance artist Kevin Carpet has gone viral again. His art, wrapping himself in a rug and lying down on the sidewalk, letting people walk all over him. He's been doing this since the 1980s in places like Washington Square Park. Some people say it's deep performance art, others say it's deeply unsettling. This latest video has racked up millions of views and even more confused reactions, and honestly, I can't tell if I respect the commitment or need him to talk to somebody. Like, imagine being so committed to being walked on you made it your job. You know what's mostly frustrating about this, and it bugs me the most, is that I'm at least pursuing stand-up. I get it. It's a weird dream. It's a weird goal thing to pursue. But, I mean, of all the things you could do, I mean, is this, like, I could just lay down in Times Square and be like, walk all over me. Literally, I'll lay down and I just need you to step on me. And that's enough. I bet you this guy's crushing it online. Like, I want to hate him, but I kind of don't. This is still better than lighting your Chromebook on fire. Look, all I got to do is lay down under a rug and let people walk all over me, and it'll be great. I honestly don't know if I could even walk on him. If I encountered this guy in New York City and I'm like walking by him and he's like, hey, you can walk on me if you want to, why would I do that? There's also this guy in Las Vegas that lets people kick him in the nuts for $20. And that's ultimate desperation. Hey, I need a job. $20. How many times can you get kicked there in a day? If I let 5 people do it, I made $100. You could do that in an hour. It's already numb. Just keep kicking. You can make a few thousand a day, I'm sure. If you can take one, you can make $1,000 easily. On the one hand, I think this guy is strange as hell, right? Like, who wants to do this with their life? But he's probably doing better than I am. And number 2, it's not a bad way to make a living if you can do it. And number 3, if you ever see this guy, let me know, because I'm curious what it's like to walk on someone. I feel like if I wouldn't have the same luck if I did all this, if I went through the trouble of going downtown and, hey man, walk all over me, it'd be funny. No. Why would I do this? What a weird way to spend the day, but it works. It works for some people. Anyway, let's close on something good. How about that? Because the world may be dumb, but sometimes it's dumb and adorable. A woman had a bad day until a stranger pulled up beside her with a truck full of baby goats in Burberry harnesses. Eliza Lieberman, a therapist from North Carolina, was having a rough day. Then a man pulled up next to her at a stoplight, noticed her "I Stop for Goats" bumper sticker, and asked if she wanted to see his. She said yes. He showed her a truck bed full of baby goats wearing Burberry-style harnesses. She cried. The internet cried. Everyone won. It's the kind of thing that makes you believe in good people and also in luxury goats. Now, this is just serendipitous, right? Is that the word I'm trying to think of? Where you're like, I have a "I Stop for Baby Goats" bumper sticker, and then the cutest goats pull up alongside you. Like, what are the real odds of this happening? I'm going to put a bumper sticker on my car that said, "I need $1 million," and see how long it takes someone to pull up alongside me and go, "You want $1 million?" I mean, this is wholesome and all, but this is the best response to a bad day I've ever heard. "Ma'am, you seem stressed. Would a baby goat help?" I mean, sure, it made her day, but it makes me uncomfortable. First of all, why are you answering the guy pulling up alongside you? I wouldn't say a word to that guy. I don't talk to anyone at a stoplight. Like, if a dude pulls up in a truck and goes, "You want to see my baby goat?" What do? I'm pulling away, man. Maybe you can make someone's day. Let that be your inspiration, huh? Let's end the show on that. If you can make someone's day better, if it's a baby goat, or maybe you're just saying hi, I don't know. I don't know what you do to make someone's day, but if you can do it, I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. We learned a lot. Don't turn your laptop into a campfire. Don't fight a gorilla. Maybe water your carpet. And if someone offers you a chance to walk all over them, just say no. And if you want to see me do stand-up comedy ever, go to my Instagram, click the link in my bio, sign up for my email list, and I'll probably be in a town near you at some point. Come hang out, bring a goat, whatever feels right. Thanks for listening to Nate Knows Nothing. Stay weird, stay safe, and I'll catch you next week.